We have a lot of young people tuning in, probably want to have a great career in Pareto or an investment bank or something like that. I know that it requires a lot of work. Can you share some reflections if this is the career path to go into? What should be the consideration? Should you really love it? Because you shouldn't expect coming into Pareto counting hours and getting overtime, or
yeah, no, you must. I mean, of course, and there are two ways of becoming an equity analyst. You know, it's either because you have a deep understanding and interest in equity markets, and a lot of people have that background. You know, they've been investing in the public market since they were 12. They read Warren Buffett books, etc. And those are and that's a great background to have. And I love recruiting those guys because they're so clever. They know so much. And then you have other. I was probably not in that basket when I studied literature and journalism. Then I went to NHH, so the Handelshøyskolen in Bergen. I didn't think about applying for the Børs Club at the time. If I had, I certainly wouldn't have been accepted. I gradually got into this, and I ended up in Pareto by coincidence. I was going to start working in Boston Consulting Group, and I had dinner with the guy who was head of research, and he told me, you should think about this and this in investment banking or in equity research. And that what he said appealed to me a little bit, like as in finance and equity research, it's perhaps the only job where you can actually, after 6 months or 9 months, you can actually call up a CEO, depending a little bit on the company. But you can call up a CEO, and he will actually care to give you a good answer. He will care because he wants you to understand, his message. He wants you to convey that message to shareholders. So you can actually get some attention there. And of course, maybe the biggest, what I was told then in advance, my thinking was that equity research was just about, sitting in a dark room, thinking clever thoughts in Excel, which I like to do. I love doing that in the evening in my home office, digging deep in Excel in the quiet room. But it's also a lot about talking to people and trying to, find some new information and talking to someone who makes you a little bit smarter, and then you talk to another one who makes you even smarter, and then and that's how you kind of excel. So you should be interested in people also, if you want to have a career like this, because you need to have something to say. You need to have an analysis. You need to have something. Your numbers need to be correct. So you need to know maths. But of course, everyone do. That applies. You need to think fairly quickly, I would say, because you're often put on the spot. But you need to be interested in talking to people. And maybe shipping is a bit special there, because it's a people business. It's a people business, yeah. So it's a business where it's essentially, it's a little bit old school in a way. Yeah.
How can you sustain, the pressure and the hours and the peaks that you will get as an analyst? Is that just something you need to figure out? Or
you become damaged. So you become hooked. And I think you need to be willing to become hooked to do a good job, because you need to understand that. And again, shipping is special there because, my day isn't over until the US equity markets are closed. So now when they're only 5 hours after us, it's good, because then at least at 9 p.m. I can relax a little bit more. So you need to be available and ready at all times. When 15 minutes past 10 in the evening, when there's a statement from Golden Ocean that John Fredriksen has sold 40% of the company to the Belgian guys, you need to be built in a way that, then I lie awake thinking and, wondering all night, and then I get up at 5:30 to write something to clients about the thoughts I then have. and I think you need to be built a little. I'm exaggerating, of course, but you need to be built a little bit like that, because your clients are counting on you for information, so they want you to be interested and be involved, and of course they are probably much better often to predict share prices and share price reactions than I am, but they need to know that at least they're talking to someone who is devoted. When you begin in Pareto as a young analyst, you should expect working from early morning to late night, and but if you do that, then it's a lot of fun, right? And of course you can't do it forever, even though some do.